Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you, and we have some mighty cold air, and it's diving all the way down into the Gulf Coast states right now. Look at Dallas, 19 degrees, 32 in Houston, and the cold takes hold, but we are expecting a warm-up. Details are coming up right now. But first, my friends at Robert Gibbons Sons want to make sure that our first responders are treated right, and thanks to them, with up to $400 off the installation of a new system, give Robert Gibbons Sons a call today. Please let them know that Hutch sent you. Taking a closer look at some of these temperatures across the nation. Look at this, Kansas City. It is 4 below zero there. That's mighty cold, but look into parts of Nebraska here. We have 7, 8, 9, 10, and 17 below in Grand Island, Nebraska there. As you look south of the I-80 corridor, Bismarck has cooled off fairly quickly. These are feels-like temperatures there, I should say, with the winds that have not relented too much, with still some areas seeing wind chill values right now in the 20s below zero. Now let's sneak over and take a look at some air temperatures. Up north, we got 1 in Regina, but that's above zero. It's 3 above in Fargo. It was such a beautiful day today with that sun shining down on the baseball hat, and I got to tell you, things were looking pretty good. Actual air temperatures in Dallas right now, not wind chills, but the air temperature, how about 27 degrees? Houston, 37 degrees. It's 21 in Greenville right now. Huntsville, Alabama at 23 degrees. Atlanta, it's in the mid-20s in Atlanta, Georgia right now, as that ice is freezing pretty hard. Look at this. The peninsula of Florida seeing 40s up there in Tallahassee, low 40s in Jacksonville. That's not far from freezing. It's going to be a cold night taking hold there. If you do have a question, thanks Shirley for watching. Thanks Nicole from Valley City for watching. Hey Paul, good to see you on the YouTube channel. Hey, you can all do Hutch a favor as you help me out by passing the good word that Hutch is here to help do the weather. And you know what? Letting people know about my website, hutchesweather.com. You can get the latest right there. And following me on Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button today. Paula, thank you for your sharing of stars. You're the best. I appreciate all the support from all of you. Nathan, it's great to see you again. I got to tell you what, I hope you had a chance to check out the Weather Kid today. Had a lot of fun out there, and it's always fun to see these kids get up there and help Hutch do the weather. They're so brave, number one, and number two, they're way, way gooder than I would have ever been when I was their age, getting in front of the camera and talking a little bit about the weather. So thanks again for supporting my Weather Kids by watching their videos on hutchesweather.com, and you know what, making comments on their videos here and giving them a pat on the back for the good work that they do out there. Let's take a look at the big picture here, shall we? The cold air is the first thing that we're going to look at. And let's take a look at that American forecast model. And to do this, what we're going to focus on is the temperatures. And we'll take a quick peek at the unsettled weather. It's pretty quiet across the lower 48 right now as far as our chance of snow. A little Rocky Mountain flakiness going on there. Here's the cold center of the high pressure system. This is the Arctic air mass. It's working its way right in smack dab into parts of the state of Arkansas before it slides off east into Appalachia as we go through your Friday night. Then on Saturday morning, it works its way into the mid-Atlantic states. That's going to keep things mighty cool and mighty chilly in those southern states. I'll show you details there. Another system working its way up north, and see these red lines? In the northern plains, it's been below zero for so many days. We didn't know there was a positive side of the thermometer for the last month or so, and it does look like the warm-up is on the way. Where you see these red lines, that's a thicker, warmer atmosphere heading its way into the western Dakotas as we go into the weekend. We're going to see some 20s. We're going to see some 30s up there, and that's going to be a reason for celebration, short sleeve shirts, and I'm sure some barbecues, because my barbecue's going on the deck right now. Believe it or not, it's live. It's happening on this Friday night. You got a barbecue. Deb, good to see you. Cheryl, thanks for watching. Watching from Minnesota, Moorhead, Minnesota. Deb and Brian Paulson, thank you. Same as Deborah, watching from the Moorhead area. Thanks so much for watching. Look at a storm system here as we go into Saturday night, making landfall in the Pacific Northwest, and these little systems are going to skirt along the warm air boundary with the cold Arctic air. That's right through North Dakota, South Dakota, and into the Central Plains. Nothing major, nothing big. The main significant weather hits the Pacific Northwest and the Gulf Coast states. Only the southernmost portion of the Gulf Coast states will see the impacts of the chance for some potent weather. But look at the mountain. Flakes are flying aplenty up there in Moscow, up north out towards Missoula, Montana. That's really a great spot, and it's going to be so cold you might see some mooses drooling up there as you go through. Now, check it out. These little mixed precipitation bouts are going to work their way through our area as we go through the weekend. That means a slap of slippery roads are going to be a possibility up here as we go through the day. Hey, Bakken oil field fail of the day. Your posts are something that make me scratch my head and smile at the same time. Rich, good evening from the Perham area. I got to tell you, thanks again. We'll take a view of some cameras here in a minute. But look at this. Pacific Northwest quite active into the weekend and out into the early part of the week. And then it looks like we'll see these fast-moving systems skirting through North Dakota as we go into the next week. Now, those will get a little more intense as they work their way through the Great Lakes. They pick up energy, they pick up moisture and heat from the south. So the cold air stays. How low will you go? Well, let's talk about it. First and foremost, most of the precipitation going through the northern plains, pretty insignificant in its quantity, but the quality of slipperiness is going to be there, folks. Keep that in mind. Early spring is around the corner, says Frankie. You got that straight. Don't let it fool you, though. We could still have some wild weather, as you all know, heading into the upcoming month. Now let's take a look at some of these temperatures, shall we? First and foremost, we are going to see some dangerous cold in the deep south. This Arctic air mass diving south. Here's some temperature values from model guidance. It's not my forecast, it's model guidance. You should really focus on your National Weather Service office. There in the deep south, we're talking northern reaches to central portions of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and points north. Freezing temperatures. How low do the freezing temperatures dive? Look at this. Baton Rouge all the way down into West Texas. That's Houston there, clipping those very close to freezing temperatures as we go into your Friday morning. Friday morning, 6 o'clock Central Time, 13 below zero in the mutually cold in Omaha. Let's just say that. Now, as we head through that sub-zero air in purple here, that's really cold stuff. Now, we start to see a little moderation in temperatures here as the coldest of the air lifts northward, but average temperatures for the days will be below average up in those southern counties out there until we get to Sunday. Monday starts returning from the Rio Grande Valley out here. We're going to see some mighty mild temperatures return. For us in the northern plains, 30s and even some 40s are in your forecast. Oh, a star party. Thanks so much, Rick. I appreciate that. And Easter storm, says Arlen. Well, you know what? You got to kind of look back and check out your fog guidance there for that as we go through. Now, as we go into the latter part of the month, we can see the cold air continuing in the northern part of the United States, but a nice reprieve from the cold air down south. So that's a quick look at what's going on nationally. Now, for those of you who are interested in those lows around the Dakotas today, check this out from my friends at the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. These are actual air temperatures today, and we're still near 20 below in the oil patch. And here in the Red River Valley, Grand Forks, 6 below zero, Fargo, 11 below zero. That was the end-on temperature, the official low at Hector International Airport, 12 below zero. All right, so that tells you the story. Not quite as cold in Mavie, not quite as cold in Fox. We're going in the right direction, and I guess you can take that for what it's worth. Current wind chills, not too bad. Hey, when you're saying not too bad there, if you're watching us from the deep south, we say 12 below, not too bad for a wind chill here. Hey, 20 below near Crary, not too bad for this time of the year. Why not? 20 below. It's been colder. Chris in North Dakota, howdy to you too. And Cheryl, good to have you watching from near Nadawash out there in Monoman County. It's wonderful to see you all on board. So now let's take a look at your forecast. Here are the facts you need to know. But first, I want to say a big shout out and thanks to all of you folks out there who have uploaded photos on hutchesweather.com. Hutchesweather.com is where you can share what your eyes are seeing with us. Look at this. We've had northern lights up here in the northern plains. It's been so clear, so cold that they were quite vibrant as we went through. That was just a couple of short days ago, but folks are just really enamored with this orange disc in the sky. A lot of beautiful sunset photos, and in Fargo, the sunset time is after 6 o'clock tomorrow. So keep that in mind. It was 6 o'clock today, 6:01, the sunset time in Fargo, North Dakota for your day tomorrow. All right, thanks a lot for uploading your photos. Again, let's go ahead and share one of them here with you and give some credit where credit's due for taking the time to get out there. Thanks so much, Angela, for taking these rural Gary shots out there. I got to tell you, it is snowy, it is cold, and that frozen tundra is going to keep us on the cold side as we go through the next few days. Great pictures. Thank you, sponsors, as well. And I got to tell you what, this one here taken from Gardner at sunrise. Gardner, North Dakota, looking mighty beautiful there with the trail up top here of those upper level winds causing some twists and turns in the cloud cover over the area. Now, this one was fun from West Fargo. Not everybody sees a full circle or a full halo around the sun. You can actually see the painting in the sky here of those ice crystals that caused the halo. So again, halos aplenty. Thank you, Aaron, so very much for sharing your view of that halo. And you know what? You're keeping us honest with these temperatures. Look at this. 24 below, said the car in Williston, North Dakota from Scott. Thanks so very much for uploading your photos. So thanks to all of you for being a part of Hutch's weather. Now let me talk to you a bit about these temperatures. Here we go. There's your forecast, and we're going to start with those numbers for tonight. The digits are not looking as cold, and it looks better. 3 below 0 for that morning low temperature. You know, you still don't want to try licking any telephone poles or anything crazy like that because it's still cold enough to freeze that wet tongue right there on that telephone pole. So don't do it. I know you're tempted. All right, 20s out in the Black Hills, as we'll see temperatures in central Minnesota near 0. And that's the coldest of the air in the deep purple, diving south with that high pressure center we showed you moments ago. Wind chills will still be wind chilly. The snowman here still wearing a scarf, so if that gives you any hint, 15 to 25 below for wind chills. No more 25 to 60 below wind chills here in the northern plains. That's worth celebrating, ain't it? I'm looking for anything here. Another thing to celebrate is with temperatures that will be a rise. And look at this, 40s out in the western part of South Dakota and in the western parts of North Dakota. Stark County and Dickinson, if you're in Richardson, if you're in Taylor, if you're in Glen Olin, you're going to be very close to that 40-degree mark. Bring on the heat, says Bonnie. Thank you so much for watching. Anybody else on the old Facebook page there, YouTube channel, give me a holler out there. I'd love to visit with you and let you know what's going on. If you have a question across country, Hutch is here for you. But now let's talk about this 7-day planner, which has everybody in the northern plains fixing to find that shorts drawer. No, not the one with the long johns in it, but the shorts. You know what I'm talking about, right? I seen them out there today, actually, with temperatures that hit near 10 degrees for a high. 21 for tomorrow. That's right. That's after 30 and 40 below 0 morning temperatures. That's going to feel 60 degrees warmer. In fact, the feels like temperatures were even crazier. Now we get the mid-30s out here, but growing pains, okay? A few flurries along the north border with Canada here as we go through Saturday. Sunday, some mixed precipitation, a good chance of it, as we showed you on that forecast there. Then heading into Monday, how about 36 degrees? That'll make us smile. Notice temperatures in the morning below freezing, afternoon temperatures above freezing. That means we're going to be sliding away on area roads out there. So keep in mind, if you are traveling this weekend and early next week, even with these beautiful temperatures, growing pains, each and every wave of energy that moves through is going to bring us a chance for some mixed precipitation in the area. As I lowered my chair too low. Ow! Okay. Sat on Pedro. Sorry about that, Pedro. We'll get you an extra dog treat. And again, if you didn't get to see my weather kid tonight, Hutch's weather kid was Peyton Bryant. Peyton, you did an outstanding job of doing the weather. Your smile was magnificent and your effort was outstanding. And if you get a chance to see it, check out my my website, hutchesweather.com. The video is posted on there for you. Got stocked up for burgers in the Traeger this weekend. That's a good idea. And a t-shirt weather. Indeed, I've got mine ready. So that's a look at our weather. Everybody's getting excited here in the northern plains as we get set for some mighty warm weather. Hutchesweather.com for all of your weather information. I'll show you right quick, a real quick idea of where you can go to find information on roads. This is one tool, but I got to share you another tool that we've just added to the website here in the last few days, and that is my sponsor line. Please keep my sponsors in mind anytime. They're the ones that make hutchesweather.com possible. Yeah, make sure you let the website track your location. We'll get you your 7-day forecast and current conditions. If I'm live, it tells you at the top of the page. My most recent videos are showing up right here, so you can get the very latest there as well with your forecast updates. Now, when you go down to the Weather Kid button, that's where you can see the Weather Kid videos. And I do want to let you know this is where you can upload your photos. But check this button out here, NTROTC. And you might say, what is this? Well, if you click on this, this is the Northern Transcon Railcam Ottertail channel. and it's really covering Minnesota quite well. And you can take a look at the first one here, the live channel, and there's several different channels on here to pick from, but essentially there's 16 cameras across the region, and they're live, always streaming all the time by the NTROTC channel. And that gives you those eyeballs that you might need in places like Wadena, in places like Perham, in places like Minneapolis, Little Falls, all the way through Duluth, Moorhead, Minnesota included on that as well. So thanks so very much to the team over there at NTROTC for making this available to us and for sponsoring Hutch's Weather. Thank you again so very much. And that is a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I want you all to have a nice night. Deb, good to have you watching from Florence, Arizona. Hey, the Arizona temperatures, that's one area where it's not quite as cold, and I might be taking a little trip out to Arizona sometime soon. And Gene says, so excited to see the positive numbers instead of all them minus numbers. I couldn't agree more. HutchesWeather.com, anytime, anywhere. Follow me on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, but most importantly, enjoy this heat wave. And yes, it is going to be 60 to 80 degrees warmer than it was last week for many of us here in the Dakotas. T-shirt weather indeed.